Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is Jennifer Scrappy Kane. Today I'm sharing a double page layout, 8.5 by 11 for Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches, Series 17. The sketch today is by Helen Ding. I will have her information down below. She does have a YouTube channel, and I decided to go ahead and stretch her single page layout to a double page just because I'm doing a smaller scale and I wanted to get all 8 photos on my layout. So I have 8 photos of my oldest son playing with my youngest son when he was a baby laying on the floor. And I just thought they were cute photos and they needed a place in the album. I have quite a few bits and pieces from a collection by Pebbles Inc. I think it's called Cool Dude, but it's not one of my favorite collections just because all of the embellishments are like the same size. So there's no variety. And I tried to pick out a lot of the blue and the green because those are the colors I wanted to highlight. You saw I just tossed that rainbow acetate, it's not acetate, it's vellum, tag to the side because I decided not to go with the rainbow colors and go with just green and blue. Main reason being my youngest son is wearing green and blue on his shirt with white, and it really helps the photos pop. I have a lot of scraps left to this collection, not very many 12 by 12s, and especially with the green and the blue. The green and the blue was my favorite of this collection, and then everything else was just a mix of, oh, I really like it because it's boy related, but it's really hard to use. The thickers came from a Vicky Bouton collection, along with the Giggles is from an older baby Pebbles collection that I had in my stash. I'm going to bring out metal star dies to cut more stars like this one here that I cut for another layout. And I'm going to cut those stars out of all different colors of paper, mainly blue and green, of course, but all of the papers you see here that I have scraps of. Along with, I needed to be able to map my photos. So in the end, I will end up bringing in 2 more papers, and they are from Vicky Bouton because the colors match. Both of them are American Crafts Company, so the colors just match better and they were able to go together. I was showing you there that my background paper that I'm going to use is that gray paper, and it's not cardstock, it is pattern paper, but it's from Paper Pad, I believe from Michaels. I'm not sure, I already had it tore out of the paper pad, but it's super thin. But it works perfectly for backgrounds, and that was the reason I had bought it. So that's what I'm going to use it for. I'm showing you here that I have one of the darker blue papers, and I already cut the stars out of the mat before I matted the photo. I did that on a few of them if I needed more paper. I didn't have very much of that darker blue paper, but I definitely wanted to incorporate the darker blue because it matches the photos. So the main photo being the larger one, I did in the blue. And then I'm going to do one smaller one of my youngest son laying by himself in the darker blue. It was on there a little bit crooked, so I had to fix it. This one here, and I'm going to place it down on or actually I already showed it. This one here is the Vicky Bouton paper, the teal color, and the green one is also Vicky Bouton. I believe that one's from, what is it, Bright and Bold. And then the teal one is from one of the project pads. But again, the colors match, so I went for it. Already cut my paper down to 8.5 by 11. I'm just inking up the edges. I do kind of go fairly fast. I'll try to explain everything I'm doing. And with YouTube, you can always slow down the video if you really need to. But I think a lot of what I do on this layout is kind of self-explanatory. Or if it's not, I can explain it to you, even though it's going fast, because it took me a while to actually put it together. So speeding it up, in some spots, it almost looks like I'm doing real time. because I was going so slow trying to figure out how to lay out the photos for one, and then to lay out the strips of paper, because I did want to angle them the way that Helen has it in the sketch. So I was trying to make sure that I measured twice and cut once, because if I messed up, I wasn't going to have papers to replace it and I would have to find something else to use. So here I'm cutting the photo. As usual, I will cut a photo. It doesn't matter as long as it's not going through somebody's face or cutting off a body part. I'm okay with cutting the photo. This paper here, I definitely had to make sure that I cut it correct, because it was only going to work if I cut it correctly. She has the middle piece where the photo, basically is part of the middle piece paper. So that's what I did, is I just cut it just perfectly so that I could line up that photo, and I'll be able to lay the other piece at the other side and then lay that other photo down. So it works out perfectly, but it definitely was kind of scary trying to make sure that I had it just right before I cut it. And that's what took me the most time, basically, is trying to figure out how to lay out the photos. So here I'm just piecing my little piece back on and then lining up my photo, and then I will put that other piece on the other side. And it is cut down at the bottom, so it definitely has to lay exactly in the right spot, or you'll see a little bit of the gray in the background. But I get it into the right spot here, playing with it for a minute, and then I'll have to trim off just a little bit of it. Not even very much, but just a little bit of it so that it's straight. But I really like the angle look. I don't do that very often. Usually I angle my photos one by one. Each photo decides if it's going to be angled or straight, but I don't ever angle like the whole like collage like this layout showed. And I really thought that was cool, so that's why I decided to go with that um, across the layout and do a double page. So here I'm going to lay down the blue one first and decide how much of it I want actually peeking out. I don't want two full strips. That would have been an inch together, because they're both a quarter of an inch strips, or half a strip, sorry, half an inch. So I decided to just put it on top of the other one, and it works out perfectly. I just want like, I think that's like a quarter of an inch on the blue. It's a little bit, probably a little bit less than a quarter of an inch. So here I'm lining it up on the other page and putting it across. And then I'm going to lay the green one down on top of that one, or it's actually variegated green into teal. And that was part of the Pebbles paper. Once again, ran out of tape. Sorry, I should have cut this part out because the video is 15 minutes long, but I missed that while I was editing. Didn't take very long to replace it. But I seem to be running out of tape a lot. But I make a lot of layouts, so I do run out of tape very often. Anyways, I went ahead and lined that one up. I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom, and I'm going to lay those the same way. I'm going to do the blue one first and then lay the green one, or the green teal one, on top of it. I really like this paper. I was going to use the green one that's kind of solid instead, but then I saw this one and I was like, oh no, I like that one better. So I'm really glad I went with this one. I like this one a lot in the end. And I think part of it's just because it has that really pretty teal color. Along with the blue and the green. Blue and the green is my absolute favorite for boys. And especially my boys, because they both love blue and they both look really good in green. So usually they're wearing some form of green, whether it's a darker green or a bright green, like what my younger son's wearing in this photo. I couldn't remember exactly how I had the photos, and they didn't fit after I was repiecing it back together. But what happened is when I matted the photos, they of course got bigger. So that's why they no longer fit on the layout. So I had to trim those two at the top, and just a little bit off of each of them. I think I trimmed like almost half an inch off of each of them. So instead of 3x4s, they're probably like two and or no, they're probably 3x3.5, 3 and 3/4, maybe. Yeah, they're a little bit more than they're not 3x3. That's for sure. They're not square. They still are rectangle, but they're not 3x4s anymore. Decided to put the year down at the bottom, and then I'm going to put brothers up here, and I'm going to put Giggles up here. So it's going to be, the title is actually Amazing Brother Giggles, but um, I don't have amazing on yet. I was just kind of playing around, deciding how I was going to lay out these stars. This is where I sped it up fairly fast, because I do play with these stars for a while. I try to get a cluster of the stars down here at the bottom for the 2012, which is the year. And even though I really didn't need the year just because he's a baby, and he was born in February, so he was pretty much a baby the entire 2012. So I really didn't need the year on the layout, but I wanted to add those same letters down at the bottom just to make it consistent on the layout. So I couldn't decide how I was going to add all these stars. I just knew that I wanted to get something else on the layout, and none of the embellishments really work. There's nothing on the embellishments even that say like big brother, little brother, brothers at all. So it was pretty much I had to come up with my own embellishments or something to put the title and anchor it to it. So I decided to go with stars, my go-to for boys. Again, that or gears, but I just decided that the stars were going to work. So I cut out lots of stars. I do have a few left over, which I've saved and I will use on future layouts. And like I said, some of the embellishments I will be able to use. I still have quite a few papers left, so I definitely will get a few more layouts with this collection before it's completely done. But oh man, this one's really hard to work with. Um, I've already used all the papers that I really love, which is that um, the blue and green like plus signs that's on this layout, and then that variegated the green into the blue paper was my other favorite, and the dark blue with the like lightning bolts on it and little stars. That was my other favorite. And those are all gone. So I have orange left, and then I do have a monster truck one, and I have monster truck photos to use. So I'm going to be able to use it up. But man, this collection is really hard to use because the embellishments are pretty much all the same size. So that is one thing. If any companies are listening, I know they're not, but um, they need to make different sizes, not so large, but definitely not all the same size because it makes it really hard to layer them up. And so many of them were the same. I did not have to buy all the foam stickers in all the ephemera packs because everything is the same in each one. So, but I made it work. Here I'm adding the cute little bugs up there at the top and the stars. And then I added the little banners by where right now where I'm putting the letters down. Those say, oh, what does it say? It says, "Yay, no rules." And Bugaboo Julian, which Bugaboo is what my older son used to call him when he was a baby. Another reason for putting the bugs on this layout. And then over here on this side, I'm putting the vellum piece that says boys are the best. And then down at the bottom, I'm going to put Big Bro Jeremiah. So I got both of their names on the layout and then the year and just Brother Giggles, which is kind of self explanatory what they're doing. There's nothing special about the photos except for they're laying on the floor and playing together. So that's pretty much it for today's layout. I really enjoyed the sketch, Helen, and I'm glad you're playing along. I hope to see what you created with your sketch, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's layout. I'll have a few close-ups for you. I definitely have another layout for tomorrow. It's going to be the twin series with Christine Harden, and I will see you in that video tomorrow if you come by. And if you guys are new here, welcome. Please like and subscribe. And I try to post a layout every day. I don't always succeed, but almost. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.